Live. One. It's rolling.
This is Tharp World. This is our second half of our conspiracy theory episode. I'm Allison Tharp.
I'm Allison OK Frost.
Our bunker was raided by the FBI. Sorry, it's so sad. They took our firearms.
They took all of our firearms. They took all of our tactical maps.
They took our gas masks and our bins of food and our kitty litter that we were going to poop in and pee in. We made litter boxes. It was like so smart. And they came in and they just took everything.
They
and
took
it was
everything.
humiliating and they were
They
mean.
tagged everything. It's all evidence now.
It's okay, so it set us back a little bit, but we found another location. It's still a secret location. It's not as cool looking. There's no tarp on the wall. There's no, plywood, boarded up windows, and it's not underground, but it's still a great place to make art, which is what we do on Tharp World.
It's what we do.
We make art, we talk about the truth. And today we're going to be talking about the haunted internet.
Yes.
It was covered last time, not in great detail, but we think it's really important to bring it to you because, well, basically the internet is haunted, you guys. I'm going to lean in a little closer. We do have a telepathic Skype connection tonight. We have a very special guest communicating with us telepathically. We can't take live calls. The FBI just cut our phone line. So that set us back. However, we are going to be illustrating on this beautiful piece of mylar a very detailed map of the haunted internet based on some of the dictations of our special guest, who's a telepathic. We can't say if he's living or dead. He's somehow in the internet. We get him on Skype. We've never met, but he's going to be with us today. So I guess we should just get started.
Let's get started.
We'll just start. So let's show kind of what we're going to be doing. Here is the tray we're going to be using. Here is the graphite. It's powdered.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be mixing it with a mineral spirit. Is that correct?
That is, yeah. And we're also, I've got this nice fluffy brush here, so we can just brush it on like you would with a blusher.
Except we wouldn't want to do that.
No, probably not.
Unless we wanted to get in our eyes or in our mouths.
Yeah.
A slow way to commit suicide.
Very
Disgusting.
slow, probably pretty painful.
Don't do that. Don't try this at home. So let's get started and go ahead and mix it.
Okay.
So I guess we'll put in a little bit. How do you like to just tap it out here?
Yeah, I just tap.
Just a little tapping.
Yeah.
Is that enough?
That looks great,
Okay.
yeah. And then I've got some mineral spirits here in my compostable cup.
We have to think about the planet.
Someone needs to. And here's a brush.
Thank you.
You know, and we can make it as washy or as opaque as we like, depending. I mean, we're going to be working on things of an ethereal nature tonight, and so sometimes it's going to be things solidifying, like knowledge of conspiracies, and sometimes it's going to be things sort of floating in the winds, like the ghosts of the internet,
Which we know are there. They're incredibly hard to pin down. Unlike ghosts in the physical world, which can be captured on digital recorders, video recorders,
audio recorders,
and you can, with an electromagnetic field like detector, you can see them. You can communicate with them sometimes. Ouija boards. Another great way is maybe some table tipping, like the old spiritualists of the turn of the century.
Oh, yeah.
A nice table tipping.
Yeah,
you can
some
find the ghosts.
chair leg tapping.
Some chair leg tapping, which has been proven to be a completely accurate way to communicate with the dead. However, the internet, we don't have those tools because we don't really truly understand the different levels of the internet yet, which is what we're going to try to explore kind of through telepathy here and through a bit of psychic channeling, as our special guest will join us soon. We don't know when. He's actually kind of hard to... he wouldn't return calls or anything. It's like he said he would be here, but we don't even know when. Right. Gonna happen.
And it's not the easiest thing in the world to return a telepathic Skype call.
It really
just
isn't.
Not. It's like the 90s all over again, and we're all carrying pagers, and who can find a payphone?
If you're in the movie and it's like you're getting a page, but like maybe you're on a date. I mean, it's never a good time to get a page, you know?
It's not.
It's the same with telepathic communication with spirits on the internet and or people who don't want to be known. This person is incredibly difficult to pin down and to get to know. It's kind of an enigma, but we're very, very lucky that we at least got his call last week, and he informed us of the haunted internet, which we had no idea about.
Yeah, and we've been researching it ever since, and it's been a while. I don't think we've been on the air since the bust, and
it's really been a tough couple of weeks, viewers. After the raid, we went into hiding.
Yes.
I haven't been catching up on like any of my reading or like any of my news, so I don't actually know what's happened in the world. We just emerged from our secret location, you know, to here, just jumped out from where we were, and now we're starting to paint. So we're a little disoriented as well.
Yeah.
So stick with us through this hour and explore the haunted internet, and maybe you can get an education as well as we do. So let's just get started here.
okay.
I'm gonna get a brush, and I'm going to use. Oh, we have graphite pencils too. We have everything.
Yeah, we have everything we need. So, so as many people know, traditionally it's believed that one passes from this mortal coil, they see sort of a path, some kind of long hallway situation, and one unforeseen side effect with internet development and the creation of several layers of the internet is that the dead often find themselves very confused about whether they're taking a hallway towards, you know, their deceased loved ones into the great beyond, or whether they're just finding themselves in some sort of alternative Wikipedia loop where they're, you know, searching for information that leads to another search that leads to another search.
Where there's like pop-up after pop-up
Oh my
after
goodness.
porn pop-up after pop-up, and then they're at Amazon.com.
Yeah.
And then they're like all of a sudden in shopping for shoes, and then they're in the graveyard known as Friendster.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, it's extremely confusing, and a deceased person can get stuck there. It's frightening, and it's frightening to think of us, you know, lost in the internet, in loophole after loophole of all these like abandoned social media sites. I mean, what will it be like, you know, after all of it's gone?
Yeah.
It'll be like the graveyard. It'll be all of those profiles, like boarded up windows in somebody's abandoned basement, like this window here.
So, Allison, how will we know when our telepathic Skype call is coming in? Is there some sort of alert?
I think there probably will be sort of a glitch in the atmosphere. Like we will start to become, like a lot of times when someone goes into a haunted environment in the physical world, they feel a dizziness, they can feel lightheaded, they can feel like they're being touched on the shoulder, or sometimes in the worst case scenario, scratched or bitten by like an evil entity, which I don't think we're dealing with today, because the entity that we're going to be dealing with, I think, is friendly, according to at least with our last interaction.
Yeah.
So I believe that some of those same symptoms may occur even with an internet presence.
Okay. All right.
That's my
maybe
theory.
The smell of burnt toast.
Burnt toast. I love it. Because of the wiring, it sometimes overpowers the wiring, and I'm sure that would probably be the case. Oh, this is just. Oops.
Oh. Now, as you can see, on Allison's side of this drawing, we've got several kind of windows or portals, if you will, leading into one another. It's almost like the game board for the game Clue, in a way, in which you can go from the study directly to the sunroom just by walking down a set of steps into a secret passageway.
Or like the game Maniac Mansion, way long ago, where it's like a mansion you can skip from one character to another. It's like that with the internet. You can be many, many people at once.
You can be many, many people at once.
You can have many, many people. You can be anybody you want, which is terrifying and exciting. It's very liberating. So what I'm trying to illustrate is the different. It's impossible to illustrate it in a drawing, but if I was to have to illustrate it in a drawing, I believe that the haunted internet looks like many, many badly drawn room perspectives with chairs you can sit in for short periods of time. Many, many, many chairs everywhere that people are just sitting in and talking or being lost.
They're taking a moment, getting off their feet.
I smell burnt toast.
Do you?
I have this strange feeling that we're not alone.
Oh.
I smell like as if a young child stuck something in a toaster.
Oh, did you hear that?
I hear something.
Oh my goodness.
I feel like I've just been touched somewhere. I just feel like I've been.
Caller.
Oh my god. Oh my god, it's happening.
It's happening.
Not like we're surprised, but it's happening.
This is Codename Maverick. Coming in
Oh
on
my god,
the...
it's Maverick from the last
Oh,
episode.
thank goodness.
Okay, he's friendly. He doesn't work for the government.
I'm coming on a telepathic channel. Is it reading?
I hear you.
I
hear
can
me?
hear you.
Okay,
Coming
good,
in.
good.
You're coming in.
Hey, I just want to reiterate my support for your show, the good work you're doing for the United States of America.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and
Thank you.
I feel like I've developed a real rapport with you guys, and we've talked a few times now.
Yes.
And I want to use my informal code name. That's codename Jim. You can call me codename Jim now.
Okay.
Okay. Codename Jim. I think I can
Codename
remember
Jim.
that.
Yeah, that's what my friends call me.
Got it.
Okay.
Codename Jim.
Yes, we're on that friendly level now.
Yes, I want to talk about some recent, very serious developments in the battle against the ghost robots, which I'm extremely unhappy to say that we might be losing. That possibly our whole government is being taken over by robot ghost mind control, and that
Okay.
we've had to turn to guerrilla warfare.
So if
Oh my god, it's finally happening.
It's happening.
I mean, we've been talking about this for a while.
Yeah.
and just to clarify, caller, it's humans versus ghost robots.
Yeah,
Do
but
I have the dynamic right?
the ghost robots infiltrate humans' minds. So, for instance, most of the Republican Party is ghost robots at this point.
Okay.
Except for Trump. Trump's just crazy.
Fair enough.
And a good portion of the military as well.
So it's getting to a critical point.
Yeah.
Soldiers, men and women on the ground,
Yeah.
are they ghost robots?
Some of them. Mostly the ghost robots are trying to infiltrate more advanced, higher level. Because it requires... The one thing we have on our side is it requires an enormous amount of digital and electronic energy to exercise mind control over a human.
Okay.
We have very strong wills. They try turning our cats against us, which would be dangerous. But they haven't tried that tack yet because they can't interface with a cat digitally.
Right. Plus, it's very hard to control a cat.
It's so hard, so hard. Yeah.
Yes.
I tried putting my cat on a leash the other day. It didn't work.
No.
Didn't work at all.
I've tried that too.
So are you guys familiar with the secret history of the NSA and its battle against robots, ghost robots?
We are somewhat familiar, yes.
Okay. Well,
but
just to
for
rehash.
our viewers, yes.
Just to rehash for the viewers, yeah. I mean, well, we all know that the NSA, of course, was just a cover that George W. Bush created to fund a massive technological upgrade of our systems for battling ghost robots. I mean, what does the government want with their phone numbers and dick pics anyway? Just think about it, right?
I don't really want to think about that.
Should we think about something different, caller?
So the so the NSA centers are actually ectoplasmic centrifuges designed to separate digital ectoplasm from to separate biomechanical ectoplasm from digital information, so we can free the internet from the ghost robots and keep them out of our minds.
Is there any other way to keep them out of our minds?
Well,
like on a daily basis? Like for the average person who's just walking around, frightened of such things. Maybe they're on their phone. They're worried that their phones are being controlled and people are listening, but not only listening, but the ghost robots are actually in the phones. Yet we carry the phones everywhere. Is there any way to protect ourselves daily?
Yeah,
that you know of?
I've done some further research. We talked about tinfoil with augmented saran wrap.
Okay.
I've really cracked the code for that. This is what you need to do is you actually need 2 layers of saran wrap, it turns out. After weeks of experimentation and intensive research and theoretical explorations, I found that you need 2 layers of saran wrap. So that can protect yourself, but we don't know how long that will hold out before the ghost robots find a way around that.
Should we replace the saran wrap daily, or is it okay to leave it on for like a week?
I would replace it frequently.
Because
up to a week is probably good.
Okay.
And also use alternating colors.
That confuses them.
Do like a red, yeah. Because they have to transition to a different phase to go through the next color,
And the vibrations of the color create.
Yeah. It's an optical problem.
This is all really good information, Cody and Jim.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you called because, Agent Allison and I we are only 2 people. And the research that we do can only go so far.
It's true.
And it only was a matter of time before the information that we had collected would go into the hands of the government. It was only a matter of time when we knew that. But we had to tell everyone the truth.
Yeah. Me too. That's why I've teamed up with a man who's a rogue scientist from the U.S. military.
Oh, that's really wonderful.
Codenamed Dr. Pepper.
Okay.
And former professor at UC Berkeley. And he went AWOL, he abandoned the U.S. military because he realized all of his superiors were haunted by ghost robots. And that the ectoplasm separation centrifuges were actually no longer functioning, and it was a flawed process.
How did he know that he wasn't haunted? And how can anyone know that they're not
How
haunted?
can we know that
How
we're
can they
not?
be conscious of it? Would you know if you were haunted?
Well, he's been wearing tinfoil hats consistently.
Okay.
We've honed in on the extra layers of saran wrap as a protective mechanism. He's been taking these precautions for years.
Okay.
No one in the military. He was way ahead of all the other scientists in the military.
It's really comforting.
Yeah. He's a genius, Dr. Pepper. And so we've gone rogue, and we found a more low-cost way of. I can't give you all of the theoretical details, but we're building a apparatus in an undisclosed location for destroying ghost robots.
Do you think it'll be in the U.S. or overseas?
I can't say, but I will say that our primary goal is to protect the citizens of the United States of America. Our extended goal is to save the world.
It's really comforting.
And so,
It is comforting.
so near the center of the country, so that its effects will radiate outward. But I can't give you that with any specificity. It's undisclosed
That's all
location, possibly in the desert, possibly in the
There aren't too
mountains.
many deserts in the center of this country, I've noticed.
There's a couple near us.
Might be in
There's
the
a couple
mountains.
near us. But some people might say we're sort of on the edge of the country.
I also could be lying.
It's true. We're willing to take that chance, though. We haven't got a lot of options left. So through these levels, actual plant life can be found, and they've traced tiny particles of plant life in through the levels of the internet. And there is a rainforest somewhere in between the layers, in between the websites, in between the search engines. Plant life is growing, and they're thinking it might be the future of the planet being saved. The environment is just warm enough and just hospitable enough that these trees can actually grow in it. And they can come through the wiring sometimes.
So, you're referring to Professor Tarkington's theory of biomechanical flora in the digital interwebs.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah, I see you're extremely well versed in ghost robot battle theory.
Well, that was actually channeled directly from a spirit through my computer. I hadn't, written any of this down because for a while I didn't even think it actually happened. But now that I'm creating, I believe that spirit is actually channeling this through me so that it can come through to the viewers.
That makes sense since Professor Tarkington has been dead for 200 years.
Oh, yes, of course.
Performing all of his research is in a state of ectoplasm in a virtual digital paranormal state.
I love that.
Which is why his research is so advanced.
It actually can come through anyone. Anyone who's receptive to it. Anyone who's been wearing enough tinfoil and who hasn't been sucked in.
Yeah,
we might mind control.
Reiterate how important drawing is as a tool for channeling the paranormal scientists.
Remember that, kids. Keep drawing. Use your sketchbooks.
It's the only way to advance paranormal science. And occult particle physics. Eh?
I know it all sounds crazy, viewers, but this is the future.
So, caller, from where you are, can you see the drawing that Allison and I are creating through?
It's a little reflection on the graphite. Some spots.
Oh. Because of the mineral spirits, it's shiny. Let's do two sometimes.
Looks better now.
All right, good.
A little better. Yeah.
It's not easy to draw something that doesn't have any shape or form. It's to explain something or to draw a diagram of something that's, how do you draw the internet?
How do you draw the internet? How do you reduce 5 or 6 dimensions into 2?
I have no answers.
No.
There are some times when even the best conspiracy theorists are completely stumped and stand in wonder and awe of this horrifying and beautiful universe that we live in.
It's true.
I mean, that plant life can exist within the levels of the internet is just mind-blowing.
And can the fruits and vegetables from the internet forest be harvested?
I believe so. Codename Jim, have you got any answers on that? Can we harvest and eat the vegetables that grow in between the layers of the internet? Has there been any research done?
Professor Tarkington is working on that as we speak. He's in the internet, trying to mine the plant life. We have not been able to transform it into physical matter or bring it out of the digital ether in any visible form yet.
What have they got so far? Can they extract anything from it? How do they even know it's there? Does it come out into any kind of physical form at all?
Well, we've managed to transform it from ghost internet into a more, it turns into porn.
Oh, I knew it.
Yeah, so our results have not succeeded, and there's just more porn on it. Don't get me wrong, most of the porn on the internet is just pictures of people copulating and whatnot in various combinations, but some of the weirder stuff is actually digital flora and our attempts to transmute it into a substrate which we can harvest on the earth. Is not.
I can't wait till they have that at Berkeley Bowl.
Yeah.
Yes.
In the produce section.
Yeah.
Maybe we can make a salad with internet fruits.
Yes.
At some
internet pornography.
Yeah.
What if all the apples and stuff just have porn printed on them?
Oh, that sounds really
and
nice.
then picking out your fruit will have totally different meaning.
Yes.
So people will spend a lot more time picking their fruit out.
And some people will spend a lot less.
Some people might not
Depression
eat
is
fruit
real.
anymore.
In Berkeley, California especially.
Maybe people will just not eat fruit at all.
Oh, it's so sad.
I know. But then the
sad.
lines will be a lot shorter at the
That's
stores.
true. There would be advantages.
Yeah, I think so.
But if fruit was a digital paranormal aphrodisiac made out of internet flora, people would read that.
Yes, they would. Yes, I think there's some money in that.
I think there is too.
There's money in anything like that.
Yeah.
Fascinating information, just fascinating. It's gone to a place I had no idea.
No.
I mean, we started out with, extraterrestrial conspiracies, government cover-ups. But this is actually very inspiring.
It is
This
inspiring.
Truly inspiring new world with new possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
And porn fruit is, I think it's going to be a big business.
Yeah. We should get in on that on the ground floor, Allison.
I agree.
Just expand our empire.
I just love that idea.
You know, we've been forced to liquidate our weapon stores, our tactical maps. Maybe porn fruit is the wave of the future for Allison and Allison.
I know, we have to make money somehow. Got to pay the rent.
Got to pay the rent.
They took our firearms. It was just a shame. But,
Firearms are useless.
Well,
Primitive weapons.
they're just
No
adorable
use against
accessories
ghost
and
robots.
outfits. It's true. The ghost robots can't be stopped with firearms. It's ridiculous.
How can they be stopped? Is there any way to kill them, or whatever version of killing you would do to something that's both inanimate and already dead?
Well, I can't tell you the specifics, but as I've been working with codename Dr. Pepper, who's a advanced theoretical physics with a specialty in Deleuzian Hawking transformations, we're building an apparatus in the desert, as I might have mentioned already. I can't tell you how it works or exactly the specifics for sheer fear there might be ghost robots or government officials monitoring this channel, but I can explain some of the materials so you know what I'm working with and get a picture of just the kind of complicated, highly scientific enterprise which we're involved in and the kind of apparatus we're constructing.
Can you give us a short description of how much space it takes up?
About 25 acres. It's big. And yet much smaller, surprisingly, and more cost-effective than the paranormal centrifuges that the military built under the NSA compounds.
I've heard those just take up insane amounts of space and can
so
cause
much space.
earthquakes because they've drilled actually so deep.
So
into the
so
ground.
costly, and they've proven ineffective. And there's a bunch of bureaucrats and lobbyists and big tech companies and military technology companies that are just so invested in it that they just keep building them, even though they worked, even though they don't work, because the ghost robots are in charge of fighting the ghost robots now. It's insane.
So, what is the role of big tech in this whole conspiracy?
Are they just distracting us?
That's what I'm saying. They're not helping. They're just they're lobbying our government, spend a lot of money on ectoplasm centrifuges that aren't working. And at this point, some of the tech companies are powered by mind control ghost robots.
That's obvious.
So that's why codename Dr. Pepper and codename Jim are out in the desert building an apparatus to fight the ghost robots. So let me tell you what we've got here. We've got 20 kiddie pools filled with saline solution, 50 pounds of magnets, two 50-gallon drums of kerosene, a live chicken, 500 feet of chain link fence, two lightning rods, and about $300 worth of inexpensive store-bought components that we picked up at Radio Shack.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And so is Radio Shack part of the good fight?
Yeah, Radio Shack has not been infiltrated. Its management, CEOs, and research and development staff, all highly advanced, have not been taken over by mind control.
And yet their uniforms, so understated and so adorable.
It's true.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just so simple that they've just been overlooked.
Yeah, they flew under the radar.
Because
They-
no one shops there anymore.
Yeah, low market share.
It's depressing.
Yeah, it is depressing.
But it's so hopeful that
Yeah.
it was just a guise the entire time.
This is
Like
how
you can't get any help there because the guy's in the back on his phone the whole time. And you're like, does anyone work here? I could just steal anything in here. And they're like, steal it. We don't need it. It's a prop.
Yeah.
It's all props.
It's all props. What are we selling here? I don't know.
Nobody knows. It's no one had like a phone, wires that
maybe one DVD player.
Nobody works there. It's genius. They're geniuses and they're brave, brave soldiers, good Americans. My heart is warmed at the idea of that. And next time I go by a Radio Shack, I'll put my hand on my heart and maybe say the Pledge of Allegiance.
You won't go in, of course.
No, I don't need anything from there. There's nothing in there for me.
So, could we make Tharp World polo shirts? Maybe little red ones?
Of course we can. Of course we can. We can do anything. Anything we want. Once we know that we can harvest vegetables out of the internet, we can do anything. The possibilities are just there for us. So I'm going to let you guys know something special. Pay attention. Through your texts, as we text and the bubbles come up and our little words are there, cute things to our friends, within each text is a room. You can actually go into it and telepathically hang out with the person you're texting. In the room is a tiny window. You can escape at any time. You can end the conversation at any time, or you can sit in the chair. Every room looks the same. There's a window and a chair. And so you can decorate the room in any way you want, and through that, you either further or damage the relationship. Next time you're texting someone, remember that that's all going on through the scenes, behind the scenes, telepathically. You can also allow ghosts to enter through if you want them to. They come through the window, and they inhabit the space, and either enhance or poison the relationship. If things are getting weird between you and the person you're texting, it's probably because a ghost has come in and haunted the text thread. So think about that next time it's starting to get awkward. Stop the conversation and start a new one, and that'll take the ghost out of the room.
Can you burn a little sage, perhaps?
Oh, certainly, at any time.
It's always appropriate to sage.
If you don't have any sage, go to your nearest New Age store or herbal shop and just pick up a little bit. Even if you burn just a little leaf, ask everybody around in the room if they're chemically sensitive, or perhaps you don't want to get anybody, lightheaded or sick, or if they cough, be respectful. But sage is always appropriate. The ghosts, actually, we've caught a couple on film. They look like really, really adorable eels, like the freshwater eels. That's what they look like. They're so cute, almost like a salamander.
I find freshwater eels to be so delicious.
So they come through the window. Even the evil ones are kind of cute, so be on guard. So as you can see, the internet is a very complicated place. It's treacherous and it's beautiful. There's fresh fruits. There's places to hang out. There's spirits. There's ghosts, and there's robots.
And ghost robots.
Which has been so beautifully illustrated by our special guest and our brave American agent who's joined us today, codename Jim, he's disclosed his other code name, which is less formal. It's a wonderful step in a friendship. So that's really nice.
Yeah.
I would like to say there's one other way you can protect yourself, which is why some of us, including myself and codename Dr. Pepper, have been able to survive for so long.
Oh, yes?
Is that, I don't know if I mentioned this last week, but extremely high doses of LSD will inoculate you against ghost robots.
Oh.
I think I might be protected already.
I think I might have some in my system. Still. I think it might still be there.
I keep mine in my spinal cord.
Oh, that's where it is. I think it's at the base of my head. I think that tingling I feel is really just the leftover LSD. Still circulating throughout.
So if you've noticed, we aren't wearing our tinfoil or our saran wrap today. Luckily, we are still safe due to the 1990s. Thank you once again, 1990s.
For saving our lives.
I would like to not give you a false sense of security, because if you are venturing in a sort of locus of ghost robot activity, you might also want a tinfoil helmet, even if you've been inoculated.
would the tinfoil helmet have to be worn as often, or have to be as thick?
Well, like
Perhaps
coffee
maybe-
shops are intense
What if-
locations
What
of
if
Wi-Fi
it's just
activity.
a little silver hat that's not actually tinfoil, but just like a metallic fabric?
That could work.
Okay.
What about a silver necklace?
Oh yeah.
I'm not aware of such advanced technology, but I imagine it could be worked.
Okay.
All right.
Because I have a lot of those. Then I wouldn't have to mess up my hair with tinfoil.
Yeah, maybe some earrings. That could work.
Oh. This is such a wonderful material, this powdered graphite.
Isn't it?
It's really so cool the different techniques you can get. And just the different ways that, I've never used this really before. And Allison has introduced Tharp World to this material, and I just love it.
Yeah. I may have actually invented the world of graphite mineral spirits on Mylar.
Really?
Like the combination of those 3 items, and those are 3 items that are pretty regularly used in the making of art, but I'm not sure if anyone else uses them at the same time.
Do you hear that, you guys? We have someone who's invented a technique here on the show. It's very, very special. So you get to see these beautiful inventions just happen right in front of you. I feel very lucky to have Allison on the show.
I wonder how long we've been broadcasting.
Oh, just this episode?
Yeah.
Oh, probably.
36 minutes.
All right. Interesting. I would kind of like to switch sides.
Let's switch sides.
Okay.
Yeah, because we've already, my take on the internet and Allison's take on the internet are now going to blend, and we're going to really bring this together. And so I'll come over here, and then we'll seal the truths.
Yeah.
This is like almost a city. I can see one of the text eels,
Mm-hmm.
and this kind of embryo. Oh my God, they're cloning ghosts. They're cloning different brains within the internet. They're cloning. That's where it's happening. I knew they were cloning people, but I didn't know where. It's happening in the different levels of the internet.
It's terrifying.
It really is. And I can see that one of them is forming here.
Mm-hmm.
We always wondered where it was going on. So I wonder if extraterrestrial intelligence is actually trying to protect us from ourselves, or if they're trying to steal our technology and take it for their own. That we're really more advanced than they are, aside from the fact that they can time travel and, use aircraft that we've never even heard of. But perhaps they're just like very spiritually stunted,
Oh,
or emotionally just really immature.
It could be. It could be.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not great communicators.
No,
we
they're
know
not.
that.
Clearly. Really, all they do is like scare people, and as soon as someone's like, hey, then they just take off running. They just
Yeah.
take off. They're like, here, look at us, and they're playing hard to get.
Or they just lift you up into their ship and put things in your rear ends.
I know they do. I don't know personally, but I've heard. I've heard stories.
That's a sort of universal story that one hears about.
Isn't it interesting that there's support groups for people that they've had that happen, and they put the implants other places too. Sometimes like in the shoulder, they'll find little
right.
pieces of glass. It really, I always thought it sounded like, either it's an alien abduction or a drunken blackout. Because
Yeah.
you wake up in a place you don't know, there's pieces of glass in your skin, you don't know where you are, maybe
These
you're
are things I've
bruised, you've lost
experienced.
time. It's hard to say what kind of support group they actually need. Maybe it's aliens.
Maybe it's aliens.
It's incredibly hard to tell because the stories are so similar. The details are almost identical. One can speculate endlessly.
They certainly can.
So I wonder if it's human beings that are actually growing in the different levels of the internet, or if it's alien fetuses
Oh, it's so
that
hard
are.
to say.
They could be ghost robots creating their young.
Yeah. Right here I've
Between
got
text
a
messages.
ghost robot eating a corn apple just to bring it all back home.
They do feed off the fruits of the internet. It's terrifying that they're living in the breeding grounds are abandoned social networking sites like Facebook or not Facebook, soon to be Facebook, but Friendster and MySpace are perfect petri dishes to grow ghost robot fetuses because they're basically abandoned. Yet they can feed off of a profile, which is a human profile, take it on as an identity, and flourish in that way.
And flourish. They could. They're ghost robots becoming you in 2003 right now.
Oh my god! Oh my god! I have to take a moment of silence. Oh, deep shame. One of the ghost robots is listening to Death Cab for Cutie in its crib.
Yes. Yes, it is.
This is a fascinating diagram. It's really, really crazy.
I find I'm most drawn to the more scientific elements of it.
Yeah. It's just, I could get lost in it.
Oh yes.
There's so much information that's been covered tonight. My head is spinning.
I have a headache. I literally have a headache.
Oh my god.
I think this is a direct communique from Dr. Professor Tarkington.
Yes, go on.
Well, I don't have anything else to say because we have to interpret the drawing and transcribe it into a apparatus that we're building in the desert. But I believe this is going to help us crack the code and make our ghost robot destruction apparatus more effective.
So,
Tarkington.
Professor Tarkington and yourself, could you actually use this as a blueprint for the structures that you're building in the desert?
It will. It will be an inspiration and a guideline, possibly a blueprint.
And can you see it from your computer? Can you see it right now, Codename Jim? Can you see what we're doing clearly?
I can see what you're doing.
It's coming through.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and you know what else is really fun? Is taking like the paper towel and you can remove.
Oh yeah.
You can remove some parts too.
Yeah, that's the best, isn't it? You can also dip your paper towel directly into the graphite mineral spirits mixture and use it as a drawing tool.
Oh wow! Look at that. It's almost like a thick brush, but a more inconsistent brush.
Yeah, and it was a very, very short handle, lowering the distance between your brain and your fingers.
I love that. Look at that. It's beautiful. Almost looks like a Chinese or Japanese brush strokes.
It does, doesn't it?
I don't know if the sound's working. Is the sound working? Do I know if this... Turn the sound on.
There's at least some sound on our recording device.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have to forgive us, dear viewers. We had to create this show under circumstances that were not especially favorable due to the fact that our secret location has been raided and all of our equipment stolen by the government. So we're coming to you from, just the best that we can do under limited time and resources. So thank you for bearing with us. very, very loyal, very, very loyal viewers who we know deserve the truth.
Although possibly silent truth.
Possibly a silent truth, but the piece says it all. And if you can't, you can do a screenshot of this. Don't share it with anyone, and I can't guarantee that you won't go to prison if they find it on your computer. Brave Americans, this is a difficult time for us all.
Do we have sound?
I don't know. I can't get sound on there, but I can get sound on like any YouTube videos, so that computer doesn't seem to have sound. So I have no idea. I thought it was working before, but
Either way, they're getting something.
they're getting a picture at
They're
least.
getting a picture.
If anyone in the chat wants to say that you're hearing sound, that would be great. If anyone's watching.
Yes, if any dear viewers would like to chime in with that, if you can hear us at all, let us know. Sometimes I just want to stand back and marvel at it. Oh, it's really cool.
It is. It really is. It's pretty haunted. I'm not gonna lie.
It's worse than we thought. But in a way, it's comforting. Because at least now we know. We also don't have to go for an entire hour. If we don't want, we can end it anytime.
That's true.
Whenever we feel like the truth has been shared enough, if we don't want to go the whole hour, it's okay.
It is working. Sorry.
Cool. We've got sound.
Sorry for the false alarm.
Oh wow. It looks like there's some sort of El Nino-like storm taking it.
This is going to be the storm of the century, blowing through the internet, and instead of actual rain, it's just raining all of our credit card numbers. So there'll be an entire government shutdown.
And what do you forecast? What's the future for Bitcoin? Now that I've
Oh, Bitcoin. Codename Jim, have you any information about Bitcoin? We're all really wondering if we should just go ahead and invest in Bitcoin and put our money there.
Bitcoin is a conspiracy created by the ghost robots.
Okay, that's what we thought.
It wants to lure us into a purely digital realm where it can take over our souls.
Oh, I see. Okay.
and what does it want to do with our souls?
Eat them mostly.
What is the most delicious part of the soul? I'm not going to do anything with that information. I just, for
I don't know how you break the soul down into parts because it's more of a glowing orb-like essence which resides in all of us. But I know what the most delicious souls are because I unfortunately had to channel deep into the mind of ghost robots through my researches, and they tell me that the souls of innocent young girls are the most delicious.
That's terrifying.
I know, it's awful.
but it kind of is probably true.
It makes a lot of sense though.
But boys, no, not so much.
Young boys, maybe not.
That's really unsettling.
If they're good boys, their souls are more delicious than bad boys.
Like mean-spirited kids that start fires.
Ugh, no. They have terrible souls.
Do you think
Their souls are like Donald Trump's soul.
Is that tasty in like a junk food kind of way? Like maybe it tastes like
when
Salisbury steak.
When we say tasty, are we talking Stouffer's lasagna, or are we talking
Like
Yeah.
pizza.
Like ghost robots have a lifespan much like our own, and teenage ghost robots will smoke ectoplasmic hallucinogens and drive to something called Tico Lobe and eat the souls of bad boys.
It's getting so interesting. I did not know that. Conspiracies are so Well, this is conspiracy fact. I mean, we have someone with us who's an expert, so
Yeah.
I'm learning a lot of truths, and sometimes the truth is hard to listen to because it's what we had suspected, but
But
we've
hoped
heard it.
against hope wasn't the case.
So Donald Trump's soul would probably taste like the equivalent of a Salisbury steak dinner that's been served.
like a Salisbury steak, but with like a lot of marshmallows on it for no reason.
Okay, I see that.
And what about a 7-layer burrito? Who would you compare to a 7-layer burrito?
Just like a bad-natured hippie. I just want to remind the viewers that none of this is funny. The ghost robots are serious business.
What about the Birkenstocks on the hippie like? I mean, like that's gotta taste kind of like some kind of leather that's been burnt in the sun. You know, they can't possibly want to eat them.
Do hippie souls wear Birkenstocks?
I think they certainly do. So the ghost robots wouldn't probably choose to eat a hippie if they didn't have to.
No one would.
No. So what about something like a fruit salad or something healthy?
Healthy yet delicious.
Like a healthy, delicious soul. Like that's made of granola or some kind of muesli or a hearty bowl of oatmeal with some fruits and maybe some almonds on top.
Oh yeah, maybe some cashew butter.
Some cashew butter mixed into it. Who's
like a Bay Area lady who's good looking and exercises, takes care of herself.
Okay.
Maybe has a few tattoos.
Oh dear God, it's getting a little too close to home.
Yeah,
Likes
I
to
don't
eat
know.
some.
I know. Let's change the subject. This is a really interesting topic.
It really
I
is.
really wish our phone lines weren't down so that we could take calls. Usually we have our phone lines up, but like I said, under very short notice and unfavorable circumstances, our phone lines have been cut by the FBI. And other conversations we've had have been confiscated. Sorry about that. You'll probably be receiving a caller. Guys will show up on your porch put a bag on your head and you won't be seen again. Put you in a van. Sorry about that, guys. Part of participating in this, this kind of activity where we find the truth out. It's not a lot of people want us to know this stuff.
But there are worse things than being snatched up in a van and having a bag put over your head and never being heard from again.
Like what?
Like living a lie, Allison.
Of course, why didn't I think of that? So true. Like living in fear and living in untruth.
Yes.
And just walking around.
Just walking around half asleep all day.
That's terrible. I would hate that, and I know my viewers would too.
Yes.
Like all of our viewers would be so sad if that was the case.
Just devastated.
Especially if they knew they were living a lie when they didn't know before, which is kind of what this show is about.
It is what this show is about.
Oh, I'm loving this dark.
Isn't
Is that
that nice?
straight graphite powder on there? Is that just?
It's there's enough mineral spirits to hold it together. But it's pretty caked on there. It might even have a third dimension to it.
It looks like it's starting to have a third dimension.
Yeah. So apparently this is a buildable material.
We're learning new things about it every day.
Oh wow. Look at the gravity on those storm clouds, Allison. That is really some wonderful stuff.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Well, all our credit card numbers are about to be stolen by Stormageddon anyway.
Yeah.
It's just going to be blowing through all social media, all texts. Wells Fargo's going to shut down everything. Citibank's gone. And it's
That's
only a
why
matter of time.
I have a credit union myself.
It'll be better.
It'll be better.
I haven't really adjusted to. I've been delaying because I just don't want to believe it. But
Yeah, a lot of people are doing those internet banks too.
oh yeah, yeah. It's times are changing, you know, and so through this telepathic technique, we were able to channel more truths through the haunted internet. And you can do this at home, just by sitting in front of a piece of paper and asking the internet ghosts to come through you.
Yeah.
You can channel them.
You can channel. It's a practice. It's a meditative practice.
It might not happen at first.
No.
At first, you may just be channeling, you know, really cheap, you know, information that's just, you know, like Instagram, and just like you might find yourself just buying something. Or,
You might be on the first layer of the internet. Is
yeah,
what
you're
saying.
still on the first layer, and that's okay. You got to get used to it. So hang out on the first layer until you're ready to go to the second and the third. We're not talking about the dark internet, which people do mistake for the layers. That's another layer basically of the first internet. It's just we're talking about what's underneath all the internets, like what's through them on the inside. It's hard to explain it in a two-dimensional painting here.
It is, but we're doing a good job.
But if you pay close attention, you'll realize that through different levels of the internet, there's different layers within those levels. And that's what we're talking about. That's where the ghosts are. That's where the ghost robots are. And that's where the good ghosts are too, the ones that grow the internet fruit, which we will soon be enjoying at Monterey Market in you know, about 5 years or so.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, they're going to probably have to paint over the porn that is on the fruits, because the Berkeley people will just not have it. They don't like that.
Well,
They could turn it into goddesses.
they could turn it into goddesses.
Like, they could just put goddess faces.
Maybe it's goddess porn.
It could be, yeah. I mean, as long as you put a goddess face on it, it's erotica and it's female empowerment. But you just have to put an Indian goddess face on it first.
Right, right.
So, I mean, that can be worked out. The details can be worked out later.
Yeah. Sorry. Oh, my goodness.
So if one were to frame this or somehow mount it onto the wall, what would be the best technique for showing this piece in
Well-
someone's home, say?
You know, the thing is, this is a piece that's translucent. I'm not sure if the viewers can understand that, but as you can see there, you can see through it. Not all the way through it, just partially. So ideally, what you would do is you would put it in a frame, but in such a way that it was pulled forward about half an inch or so you could really understand the
That
dimensionality.
it was floating.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't want to put it too
You
flat,
wouldn't want
right?
to slap it between two layers of plexiglass for sure. Or you could put it between two layers of plexiglass and have that be, have that be where the distance is behind it. Now that I think about it.
So they could be sandwiched between two pieces of plexiglass.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you could see
just,
through it.
just maybe some nice rivets to attach it to the wall. That would be a
Yeah.
pretty interesting way to do it, actually.
So hear that, viewers? If you wanted to purchase this piece, that could happen.
It could save your life someday.
You might want to just put it on the wall, put it between, put something over it, like a curtain, so people in your home can't see it because you don't want to endanger them. But then you can look at it
And you
later.
never know who they are. They could be anyone. Who are you inviting into your home?
Think about it. Just be careful when you have something this important and this confidential and special. You really want to be careful who you invite to your parties. And don't let them snoop around in your medicine cabinet or in your bedroom. because they're going to look in your top drawer, they're going to look in your medicine cabinet, and they're going to look behind the curtain, which is where this is going to be. They might take pictures of it and endanger themselves with that information. They're not ready for it.
They're not. They're really not.
They don't know that.
They might not even be ready for what's in your top drawer or your medicine cabinet.
They certainly are not ready for that stuff. But yet that's always where they go.
Hey guys, it's after 9 o'clock.
Oh,
Codename Jim and Codename Dr. Pepper need to get back to building a ghost robot trap in the desert.
that is so great, you guys, for your hard work, good Americans.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service. Thank you.
We're lucky that we have a lot of crystal meth to keep us going, keep our focus, keep us awake for days.
You've got to stay focused when you're working on a project that important.
Make sure to take your vitamins. It does deplete your calcium.
Oh.
Stay strong.
Okay, yeah.
Brave soldiers, stay strong.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
Codename Jim out.
Thank you, Codename Jim.
Thank you, Codename Jim.
You're welcome.
That's about all the time we have for this episode. Thank you for sticking with us. We've covered some incredible information. It's very overwhelming. We've made an incredibly overwhelming map for you. This is as close as we could get to illustrating the truth in a two-dimensional form. This is a very, very complicated information, but we know you can handle it. Because on Tharp we bring the truth.
Yeah.
Oh, let's show it off to the viewers. This is the Haunted Internet. It's available for purchase.
It is.
You can contact us. You'll figure it out. If you really want it, you can have it. I mean, for a price.
Yeah. We're on the first level of the internet. We're easy to find.
We like to hang out there. We like to hang out there. It's safe there. It's friendly. You can buy things. It's good. You know, we both have Instagrams too.
We do have Instagram.
And you can follow us. It's fun. We post fun things. Anyway, thanks for watching Tharp World, everybody. We'll be back next week, and we have lots more special episodes ahead, so we will see you later. Allison Tharp signing off.
Allison OK Frost signing off.
Good night.